National Agency for Food, Drug and Administration and Control on Monday commenced its enforcement at the popular Ogbo-Ogu Market's bridgehead, Onitsha in Anambra State. During the exercise, the operatives of the agency, led by the Director, Nafdac South East Zone, Dr. Martins Oluyomade, confiscated a wide range of adulterated, substandard and expired drugs found at the various shops. Addressing journalists, Oluyomade said the exercise was in line with the agency's mandate of eradicating fake, banned and other spurious or Nafdac-regulated products from circulating in Nigeria and to prevent members of the unsuspecting public from falling victim. Among the drugs are expired, banned, substandard, deflective, repackaged, and recalled products. We found out that some of the drug dealers are in the habit of imitating some popular drugs and pouring it into containers of the original manufacturer in order to deceive unsuspecting members of the public. And these drugs are very sensitive that can lead to death or permanent disability of the consumer. Quickly, I'd love to get your thoughts on this. So, if we have to recall, we remember that the National House of Assembly has, appealed or put in place a situation where most of these fake drugs importers and producers are sentenced to life imprisonment. In this case, do you think it's something that will want to be taken into consideration coming from the situation coming from the National House of Assembly? Because this is one out of many that we have encountered. And imagine, I don't know if you're aware about the Aba situation. Aba's situation was mostly beverages, but most of the shops were also confiscated over fake drugs that they sell out to the public. And this is something that we consume on daily basis. The malaria medications, you hear people say, I consume this particular medicine and it's getting worse. It's actually worse than it used to be. And then secondly, most of these drugs that are repackaged, is it that they did not go through those processes of authentication, from Nafdac first off, or from most of these medic agencies before they are released into the public for consumers to, get them? I'd love to get your thoughts on this, please.
Well, I want to say that it is quite unfortunate what Nigerians are meant to consume, in the hands of these what I would call undesirable elements. I'm aware, like you ask, of the situation that happened in Abia State, a certain market by the name Cemetery Market, and, a huge number of substandard and fake products was confiscated and destroyed. In fact, the market was shut, and we also told that some persons were arrested, and to this day, we are yet to, see, what has become the outcome of that matter. Now, here we are again, in Onitsha market, where you see people who have been apprehended for bringing, fake drugs, substandard drugs, at the expense of the lives of Nigerians. I think it's quite unfortunate. I equally want to use this opportunity to commend Nafdac. If they continue like this, I'm sure some of these importers of fake drugs and, even those who are retailing it will equally get the message that it is no longer business as usual.
We will not, I will not want to dispute your applause on Nafdac for, raiding this market and confiscating most of those fake drugs. But if we have to check it, this is one out of many that we have seen issues like this. And most of them go scot-free. And it continues. It's more like a circle. If this one gets apprehended, the next person continues. Or this same person, if justice isn't served, it goes on and over again. Like I made reference to the National House of Assembly, appeal to, states, but this people that import and produce this fake drugs to undergo life imprisonment. Do you think it's something they want to put? It's not about raiding market. It's not about confiscating fake fake beverages, fake drugs, fake drinks and whatnot, because people actually consume this unknowingly, because oftentimes they imitate original brands that we feel, okay, this one cannot be a fake brand. This one is something that, okay, if I'm consuming it, I'm sure that, oh yeah, it's not going to cause harm to my body. And then oftentimes you see people consuming them, and it's really not it. It's supposed to be a continuous thing. Commending Nafdac is really not a bad idea, but it's not just about raiding the market and confiscating, the owner, or confiscating those drugs. And probably sometimes they will say they were arrested for some period of time, and then it continues.
Well, I quite agree with you that raiding the markets is not enough. Commensurate punitive measures are equally needed to serve as a deterrent to all those who are in the habit of importing and also manufacturing fake drugs. I mean, like you rightly said, we have the original, and what they usually do is they try to come up with something that is somehow close to what a lot of people will feel is the original and all of that. But looking at the proposal, the proposed bill for, I think it's not just life imprisonment. I think what they were proposing is even capital punishment, the death penalty. I think for me, it's still not a bad one. Okay, we will not continue to allow these selfish business people to put the lives of Nigerians in harm's way. It's not only when you take a gun or a knife or a dagger to kill somebody that you've committed murder. If you are selling poison, for me it's poisonous substance, even if it doesn't kill you immediately, it kills you slowly. So that could equally be termed as homicide, that's murder. So the National Assembly should equally look at all the variables, the pros and the cons, and extensively deliberate on that matter and come up with a lasting solutions to the problem. Because as far as I'm concerned, like you also rightly pointed out, it has become an unending situation where people bring in fake drugs. It's not just today. If you could still recall when the former Nafdac DG, the late Professor Dora Kunyili, she equally had a serious, war with some of these importers of fake products. And here we are today again, they are still there. So for me, I think commensurate punitive measures, like I've said, if the death penalty, which is the capital punishment, if it's what is going to deter the importers of these poisons, fake products into this country, giving Nigerians, man, woman, and child, poison, to consume, then I think it's not out of place.
Thank you on that, Mufasa. Well, joining us is another guest. There is a public policy analyst. Is always our regular here, and one phenomenal person. He's Mr. Ayong Ayotamino. It's a pleasure to have you here with us, sir. Good morning. You're welcome.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you.
Please, I also love to get your thoughts concerning this from Nafdac raiding markets and confiscating these fake drugs and the harmful things it has done to us, to Nigerians, because I could have actually consumed most of these drugs unknowingly, and they sell them out to most of these pharmaceutical stores that we go to buy from. I'd love to get your thoughts on this, please.
Well, this one is a major one. While the discussion was on, my mind was even going to the suppliers, the supply points. In fact, there's a thin line between the manufacturers and the suppliers. Apart from what you have in the market here, you know that our people have also been found complicit, at least in the fact that they travel to outside the country, to some of the places where these drugs are produced, and even ask the people to produce a lower quality. And over time, you also know that it could be medical, in the area of medical drugs. It could also be in the area of beverages, even in the area of beverages of all kinds, including of course alcohol. We can't run away from it. So it is those people that my mind quickly went to when the discussion was on. How now that legislations are being made, like Mufasa mentioned, at some point they contemplated death sentence, but I think currently the point we are is in life imprisonment. That is where we are. So we have to look at the different points of supply, and then also demand, the points of demand, so that we deal with the two, because the impact is we can see it all around us, all these issues of organ failure and so on. And even beyond that, issues of mental health that have also come up. And we are not saying that mental health couldn't come up as a result of pressures that people are going through in their daily living, but drugs have also contributed majorly to the issues of mental health that we currently have. And it's a good thing that credit to the Nigerian health system, because they are beginning to integrate the issues of mental health, you know, into the health systems of this country, from the primary health care. In fact, the entire health structure now is looking at the issues of primary health and of mental health. So we have to look at it. It's a good thing that now they have gotten the courage, you know, after the death of Professor Dora Kinyuli. So many things went. It's as if there was a drawback, But with what we saw in December, where Nafdac carried out raids into markets, into areas where these things are being manufactured, especially in markets.
Do you think that will curb this manufacturing processes that's been going on?
Yeah, of course. Why they know that that they are not being accommodated, there is no space for them, and that there is pressure continuously on them. They definitely, as a businessman, you also have to think of alternative means of livelihood, alternative means of production. Because not only are they arrested, but prosecution also follows, in addition to closing down on those shops. But beyond that, I think we need a very general orientation. Our people need to be more patriotic. Now people need to be more patriotic in terms of dealing with one another. We know that all these are as a result of the monetization of everything, that you know, the craze for wealth, the craze for money is what has generated all this. So
we do not, they repackage them in foreign packs that we feel are the authentic ones, and oftentimes we do not know. There are some of the drugs that actually have that code, the code that you could text. Yes. But we noticed that they've actually started imitating the same thing.
Not just imitating.
So what's the possibility that you're sure that you're actually consuming the right drug?
Even some of these patent medicine dealers, you know, especially when it has expired. When it has expired, if you don't check very well, you know, the citizens also need considerable enlightenment to know
the differences,
the processes of even checking these things. You know, we consume. They have to be intentional, you know, in checking the expiry dates. But we also know that in some pharmaceutical stores, when the drugs are expired, they
clean them off.
Clean them off, you know. They just clean them
new ones.
And extends the expiry date.
Yes.
So does it mean that the one that has the code that you have to text should be the one that Nafdac should, you know, implement, that every pharmaceutical store that has that drug producers should, you know, inculcate that into their drugs? Because oftentimes we notice that most of those drugs that we buy do not have that unseen code that Nigerians have to scratch and then to confirm if it is original or not. Is it that this is something that Nafdac needs to put in place?
That Nafdac needs to, and I think even the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, in cooperation with Nafdac and others, should be doing that. In fact, all regulators should be looking out for that. And we believe that at least if we can reduce to the barest minimum.
Aside the kidney failure and internal organs that you mentioned, this fake drugs are actually cause blindness, deaf hearing problems and whatnot. So this
also gender-based violence would also be as a result of, in fact, the trigger and escalate violence in our systems.
So we just hope that this life imprisonment that the National House of Assembly has tried to, put up with will be implemented. It will not just be like one of those talks that we hear and nothing is done about it, because this like he stated, is not about carrying a dagger to kill someone. This is more like an indirect means of committing murder.
And they should also, as a matter of fact, they should also walk the talk. Not too long ago there was the incidence of the NDLEA actually under enforcement. Raiding a particular senator's house. And when they got there from a tip-off, it was alleged that the aides to the senator, in fact the senior aides to the senator, were also having drugs. They were also doing drugs. And after they arrested them, he actually came out in defense. He actually came out and started making some statements against the drug law enforcement agent. In fact, when these issues came up in the National Assembly, he was one of those who actually came out very strongly against it. And they had to throw up the reasons that could be responsible for him acting against the bill. So we should be able to walk the talk. If you're honorable, you should be honorable all around you, including those that are working with you. If you're a senator, you should also be seen, to be somebody that is occupying a respectable position.
Thank you.